Hi, welcome in. Michael here. In today's video, I'll be showing you a bird's eye view of the whole process from start to finish on how to promote David Allen Capital for unlimited traffic, leads, and sales. This will also work for any other type of business loan broker program, business loan agent program. So you're going to want to listen and watch this until the very end so you have a better idea of how to promote them. If you're feeling anxious, nervous because you haven't dipped your feet in, and you're just feeling overwhelmed because maybe you've looked at this document that you can see on the screen right now, and you're like, which strategy or which tactics do I go for? What would be best for me? So I'm going to go through all that. I wanted to make this into a video. I know you likely have this document. I reached out to you, sent it out to you, or by email, and you just want to know a little bit more about maybe what I would do, and you just want to see it visually. So it's all going to be here, and there will be a bird's eye view. I'll be switching tabs in just a second to show you. But very importantly, quick message, you want to do this for the long term, right? You know, whether you're here for a side hustle, you're doing this part-time, full-time, the same thing holds true, and it is this. You have to be willing to put in your 100% effort, okay? This isn't the type of business you just jump in, press a button, and then you can get paid. Or you join, you get your link, and you just send it out and put it out in front of people, expecting them to just go and sign up, which can happen. You know, it can happen with warm markets, people you know. But at the same time, you still have to communicate the right message to them. And if that doesn't get added into that equation, the whole process can kind of concave on itself, right? You want it to open up like a flower, right? You want to be able to do this long term, whatever your goals are, monetarily, however you want to go at this. So let's get into this. What you're seeing here is the bird's eye view, more or less of from start to finish, what it can look like digitally. Maybe you have an understanding of how to promote these types of financial services with, you know, your background in sales. Maybe you were in telemarketing or any other type of role. You're like, well, I can do cold calling, right? It's cold emailing. I can go drop off cards, do this whole local marketing thing, put my message out in front of people, get past the whole gatekeeper thing. And maybe you're coming from that background, or if not, you're thinking that's the only way to do this, and it isn't, right? I just want to make this straightforward that you don't have to focus on those exact strategies. I don't. See, I know what it feels like, but I don't focus on those because they're very, for me at least, they're very, one, could be very time consuming, and two, they can consume a lot of your energy. I'm a man who focuses on conserving energy. Energy is very important to me. You have to focus on more energy than the time you have, right? It's about the amount of energy you have. We all have the same amount of time in a day. It's about how you focus your energy into that specific strategy and tactic you're going for. That is number one. Okay, remember, energy. And it's very important, you know, when you have the right energy, you make the right amount of time, you make the right amount of decisions within that allocated space you have. Okay, and then you can reach those goals much faster. So right here, what you see on the left hand are the traffic channels. And if this is the first time you're hearing that word, traffic basically means where people are hanging out. They're congregating. They're trying to find solutions to their problems. Okay. And so these platforms can be like Google. You know, when people are searching into Google, like how to relieve my back pain, enter. And then on the first page, they could get ads, but then underneath that are the posts. And people are writing blog posts and they can click on them. So traffic through Google, that's one way. There's paid advertising there. YouTube is another one. Google owns YouTube now. So it's another search engine where people are watching videos. They're actively searching, and they're also getting recommended new ones through the recommended feed. And so this is what people are doing. They're going on these platforms to solve their problems. And you're the person that can appear in front of them. Social media, we have Facebook. Well, some people can go on the search tab and search for a specific thing. Maybe it's a group, a page, whatever that is, and they can find you. It can be on the news feed when they're just scrolling, right? We've all done that. We've all been victims one way or another. Maybe you haven't, but doing the whole searching and searching for what feels like days, right? You don't want to be doing that, right? You want to become a producer, not a consumer, right? One of my great mentors, Russell Brunson, if you haven't heard of him, he's the owner of ClickFunnels, an amazing guy. Started in the network marketing world, MLM, and then transitioned into affiliate marketing and just very much like blew up, and has been a pivotal figure, not only for myself, but for many people. And he has proven time and time again that if you become a producer, meaning you put out content, you give value to people, the more you'll get in return in terms of monetarily. Your spiritual side will become much greater. You'll feel better emotionally, and you won't be that person who's consuming, right? You're going to be here on like your phone, TikTok, flipping up and down, getting a laugh, getting a hit of dopamine because you're doing that. And that app can be kind of dangerous unless you use it for the right purposes. And so that's where, that part comes from. You have other places like Instagram, different ad networks, the list goes on and on with different channels. And before I move any further, if you are still wondering, like, who's this guy? Why should I listen to this Michael person? Well, let me just give you this. I started off like many people did, working in a 9-to-5 role, being undervalued, underappreciated, underpaid. And I was working in this logistics role / business where I was handling data. I was working a lot on the mental side as well as physically, having to move media around, paper. They even put me through pallets, having to move things around. And it was very tiring at times. And especially when I had to work on the computer and I had to go input data, Excel spreadsheets, Word, and budgeting and ordering things. And it took a toll. I was helping and helping out with HP, as well as other companies in that building, other contracting companies. And, I was very tired of not really growing. And I could have gone even more, but the person in front of me, which was a supervisor at the time, didn't want to step down. He was an ex-engineer, took that role until retirement, thought he was going to retire soon, like he said he was, but he stayed in it and he just kept going. And for me, it wasn't going anywhere. I'm like, when is this guy going to go? Like, I've already had 3.5 years of schooling, university and college. I have many certifications. I've worked in many different industries, from manufacturing, construction, warehousing, logistics, other financing roles out there. And it got very overwhelming. And so, I decided to go my own route. Spoke to a friend one day, sitting at my 9-to-5 job during lunch, looked at my phone. I saw that Snapchat notification from the social media app, opened it up with a confused thought on my mind, like, why is he reaching out to me? And it was an old friend of mine. And he just commented on a dinner post that I had the night before. I had teriyaki. He's Asian. And we just started talking again. I'm like, hey, Tyson, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, things are going good. I've always been positive. But really, I wanted to change. And we just got into this whole passive income thing, how he was, owning his own trucking business. And at the time, I didn't think about small business loans or anything like that. And so what ended up happening is he taught me about this thing called passive income through affiliate marketing. And that's where I was able to promote other people's products and services in exchange for a commission. And that's where I went. And then I started learning more about things like digital marketing agency and then other business models. And then that's where everything expanded. I started to grow all my skill sets, grew a health and wellness business and other spaces as well. And so then I started later to branch out and then found this side of things with not only David Allen Capital, but just business loan brokering, being a business loan agent. And so all the skills that I've gathered, I want you to know that what I'm showing you, I know we'll continue right now in just a moment, is trustworthy. It's stuff that you can fall back on and it's going to work not only for the moment, but it's evergreen. It's going to be working for a long time to come. So back on topic, sorry for that off tangent. So we have the traffic channels, and then in between that, we have these 3 pages you are looking at. And to the left here, we have the opt-in. Now, this is a page you can send people to and collect an email address. Now, I know this may be sounding a little advanced if you don't know anything about all this, but I'll explain this in just a second. So what happens is when people are searching through, let's say, for example, Google, and they come across your blog post about the 10 best small business loans, I don't know, there's a process to each platform. And I cover that also in the How to Promote David Allen Capital. I'll try to go over that in a little bit with the blogging, but that's just one way. And so what happens is when they're searching and they find you and they go to your blog post, they click through and they read it, right? They're on this platform, where they could be on a YouTube video, right? And they're watching it, and you're like, all of a sudden, look in the description to get my free reports on the 10, or how to get my free guide on the 10 best small business loans for your business, right? Something like that. And so what happens then is they can click on that link if they're reading a blog post or watching a video, they're on your Facebook post, and you're like asking them if they would like a free cheat sheet or something like that. Just comment yes. You're like, I'll reach out to them, a private message, and I'll send it to them. And then what happens is you give them this link, and it takes them to this opt-in page where you are giving them a freebie. Like I just said, a report. It can be a free checklist, a free document, a free blueprint in exchange for an email address. So what essentially that does is, now that you have their email, you can communicate with them on the back end through automated email marketing. Okay. And this is where you're sending out a sequence, a follow-up, or a campaign of set emails in place where you don't have to go back and every single day send a new email, create a new one, send it, or the night before and then send it the next day. You know how that can go if you've been there. I know that feeling. And what this does is it automates the process. So you're communicating with people day in and like day out. You can set it every day, every other day, 2, 4, however long you want to do that. You have this email sequence working for you on the back end that's communicating with that lead, right? We're not talking about a person who's filled out an application yet. And I know we're going to get to that in just a second, but this is what I wanted to show you because this is more of an overall digital marketing way of ensuring long-lasting success. Is again looking for that the traffic is out there. There's people congregating in different places. You just have to put the right message in front of the right people, and then have a way to follow up with them. Following up with them is everything. And yeah, you can get on the phone and call them pre-submission and after they submit an application to follow up with them. But we want to save and conserve as much energy as possible. And this is the way to do this. So those traffic channels, we send them into an opt-in. Maybe they're going through a blog post, YouTube video, Facebook post, whatever that is. And then we give them something for free. It could be a free blueprint. Now we have that email. We have the emails down here being sent to them, however many we send. And this is all within this document. I give you all the templates, the scripts, so you can use and take this to your advantage. And then on the second page, after they submit their details, there'll be a thank you page. They can either download that free report, that free blueprint guide there, or we can even switch things up. And we can what's called bridge them to your program, okay? If it's right. What we can do on this page is essentially say, hey, thank you for downloading or thank you for subscribing or signing up for your free blueprints guide on the 10 plus best small business loans for your trucking business, or 10 plus small business loans in general. Maybe you're talking about a broader audience instead of a more niche audience. Right? Once you get more niche too, you understand the audience, then you can break it down even further and get more targeted with that freebie you're giving away. Something I highly recommend. It's a little pro tip there. And so they're given an option to either download, or you can say, hey, thank you for signing up. Your free report, it's on its way to your email inbox as we speak. In fact, it actually should be sitting there right now. But in the meantime, check out this video, or look down below and you might have something written out for them that then gives them a little call to action button that then says, click here to go start your free application with the service. And it can be taken into, it could be your main site's DAC link, your Bank Breezy, it can be any of the other services. It can be also taking them to a survey, and that's something that I do. That's what I've implemented is post opt-in, like they get that freebie, then they're redirected to that thank you page that can be a survey. And I have these templates here for you. You'll see them in the how to promote. It's done for you and stuff like that. And then you can like just even more qualify people. Like maybe you didn't qualify them before. Maybe they're not the right type of lead, but you want to qualify them and you want to say, are you making 5,000 plus per month? Do you have 6 plus months in business and what's so on, right? Whatever the qualifications are. And then you can segment them based on that. You can tag them based on the answers they gave you. And then that can be a whole separate email list of their own, right? You can create different copies of email sequences where you're now talking to startups. Now you're talking to non-startups. You're talking to people who are in real estate. Maybe you're talking to people who need equipment financing. And now that's a little bit more, not complicated, but it's something that you can grow into, as I have already. And, I put sales video here, but it should be like service video or application, and where they can get more information. If that's the case, if that's how we're working it. So to come back here, give you that bird's eye view again, we have the traffic, people are searching, then they go through to a website. And just so you know, websites are very important. So I know you get a replicated site. I recommend personally you have your own. It's best for personal and business branding. It goes a long ways. Trust me, I've been in this for a while with different types of businesses, and people are eventually going to want to know more about you. They're going to see it about us, about me section. And then you can even use it for blogging if necessary. You don't have to. You can have a standalone site that then redirects people to your DAC site, whatever that link is. You can also have a quick redirect. They click on your domain and then it redirects them to the DAC sites, or you can go from your site, use that as a bit of a funnel and send people from there to DAC without first redirecting them right away. Okay, that's something you can do. Websites though, strongly recommend them. They're going to come in handy for you. So again, this is the process traffic. They're searching. It can be on a Facebook post, in a Facebook group, whatever that channel is. We pre-frame them with more content. We give them more value up front. Like this is the game is, you give them more value up front, give them content, then they're going to naturally get attracted to you. They want to know more about it, and you give them a reason to act. And then you can send them to an opt-in page, download/survey, bridge page to your DAC links, or you can do that later. We can cut this part out of the process if necessary, or add it in between, or add it there too. Okay, so that is the whole broad view right there you got to look at. It's very simple, and yet I see so many people overcomplicating it. If this is something you need help with, let me know and I can point you into the right direction, especially with the right strategy that you're going after. So going through this document, and it changes more or less, so it might look different when you're looking at it. But what I say here is quick reality check, cleaning house. So this is me basically humbly and respectfully, and take that into consideration because I do use some caps locks, and I do that not because I'm screaming, it's because I want to overemphasize what you can't miss out on. You have to pay attention, focus, learn, right? Don't go like some people who come to me and they go, wow, what do I do? How do I do this? Or like, I tried strategy 10 and just, I'm on step 9, but I'm confused. And then I go, well, have you gone through any of the strategies? Have you gone through step 1, 2, maybe? No, I just skipped through all that. Right? It goes again, like I'm here to help, of course, 100%, and I'm always going to be reasonable with you. But again, we want to save our time. We want to save our energy, right? You want to be able to do this effectively, save your energy, right? We all get the amount of same time in the day. It's about how you use your energy, where you focus that time. And that's what's very valuable. And it should be very valuable to you. If you haven't learned that yet, you will. Okay, so there is no such thing as get rich quick, play the long game. reading things thoroughly. Just some side notes, your money goals. You can fill these out on your own time, put it in a new document. You can put them up on the wall just for you to look at when you wake up, just some motivation. Put it on your desk. See, I still have the old school calendar, and then I have my notepad there. I love this, even though I use apps online like Trello, Monday, Asana, all these different types, even with CRM softwares. I love having a calendar in place because there is no better feeling, no more satisfaction, and it is actually a proven habit and routine when you are it's called habit tracking. You are visually writing down your goals and you are checking them off as you complete them, or as you're like circling them to make sure you remind yourself to do those. And I do those every single day. I do not let a day go by where I don't do this. It's very important. So, go get yourself a calendar. I'll try to link to some if possible. It's a very simple one I got from Walmart. It's nothing complicated. And it just has the days. It has the little boxes separately if you want to write something smaller, not so descriptive. And this one just gives me a lot of room to write things in, right? So you can see it's all full of content. So like on my left side here, I have my more important tasks. And then on the right side here are more secondary, primary to secondary. That's what I like to do. P to S, kind of like an equation, because when you multiply the two, you add them together, then you get much higher results doing that from what I've tested. And I've tested this stuff over and over again. Don't think that I just did this thing once. Like one of my favorite things in school was science. I like math. I was good at writing. I was for the most part, good in just about every subject. I like sciences and math a lot more, though. Those were things. But here, going back on this, here are the questions. So the 5 factors to your success, I won't go through them. I'll just do them very broadly. So things like picking a product, picking your niche, researching where your audience is congregating, connecting and building, sending your DAC bank breezy information or whatever other link that is, telecom, healthcare services, equipment financing, customer financing stuff. This applies to any other type of program as well. Second, I said brand you. So you're going to come across this section. Very important that you focus on business and personal branding, because personal, very important, is people are going to attract to you. They're going to see your content. If you're writing it, maybe it's in video, podcast format, social media post. You could put your story in front of people, and that right there is influence. If you put a story together the right way, that is the magic of marketing, okay? Yet so many people, it's so simple, yet so many people complicate it. And I did it in the beginning because I didn't understand the framework of how to do this with different types of audiences, different types of business models. Once you understand how to use stories, you're going to start to grow. Okay, and then business branding, of course. But let's say you weren't a partner with DAC anymore, or you picked up a new program. You want to brand yourself. You don't want to brand the program. You don't want to brand yourself as the product. You are the product, and that's what's most important. So 3 types of people to sell capital to. Cold people, known as cold traffic. These are people who don't maybe know the name of the program. They don't even know what a revenue-based funding is, a merchant cash advance. What are the different types of small business loans, how they can even get a small business loan online alternatively. They don't know about that type of way. They just know they've been shut down, or they just have this kind of pain that the bank shut them down. They can't reach deeper into their savings anymore. They can't even ask their friends and family's help again. And so, but they know they have a problem and they know they want to get it fixed. And this is where you appear in front of them and you can help them understand, like, hey, even though they've shut you down, even though you can't do this anymore, I have a solution. Let me show you the 10 plus ways to make this happen. And there's this thing called alternative lending. And let me show you the 10 plus different types of small business loans. Then we have a segment over here where it's called cash advances. We have merchant cash advances. And then there's this thing called revenue-based funding. And so See how I'm building? Those are cold people. They might not necessarily know the name of the product or the type of business loan. They even know if there's alternative business options for them. And it can be harder to convert these people, but that's where the gold lies. Now, warm people is where we want to focus on in the beginning. Okay. We can move into cold people, but let's focus on warm people and build that out first. Known as warm traffic, these are the people who know they have a problem. Likely they've heard of alternative lending. There's solutions out there for them. Maybe they've heard of a merchant cash advance, revenue-based funding, certain type of a business loan, or maybe they just know the types of business loans in general. And so with this said, if they know what a merchant cash advance, they know what revenue-based funding is, depending on what it is you're trying to give to them, equipment financing, etc., then you communicate with them in a different way, right? You have to know those lingos, those terminologies. You have to keep yourself up to date with the vocabulary, because if somebody asks, what is a VIG, a VIG, and you're like, what is a VIG? Or, oh man, you might go do a quick Google search. And I found myself doing that in the beginning. I'm guilty of it, but I don't really do it as much anymore, if at all, because I've brushed up on all this and I've been doing it consistently day in and day out. But just really understanding like that VIG and stuff like that is like, what is the interest rate on, how much do they have to pay back and stuff like that. So you just kind of have to know different terminologies and how to help people out. And these people might know what a merchant cash advance is. And you're like, well, hey, and you're promoting, let's say, for example, David Allen Capital here, you're like, well, we do something better. It's revenue-based funding, with revenue-based funding, then we highlight the benefits of it. And then we attract them by what's called throwing rocks at the red ocean of merchant cash advance. Merchant cash advances aren't that great because blah, blah, blah. However, we have revenue-based funding that benefits. And I have the right solution for you. Luckily, there's a right solution for you. This company here, which will help you with this, and this. Okay, I won't go too specific into that. That's a little bit more of a copywriting thing. Okay. Number 3, hot people, known as hot traffic, not the type of like hot looking people. Come on. But this is for the people who know the name of the product. So if they know David Allen Capital, they're maybe on Google actively searching David Allen Capital, Bank Breezy, BD Advance, any other type of business loan program. And they may know they want that service. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just still looking for more information. They're typing it in, or they know what they want, so they're going to go in that post or whatever, wherever they find it, click through, and then go fill out an application. So that's a great amount of traffic there. Now we get into the 10 plus best ways to promote David Allen Capital, right? I already emphasized way number 1, warm market, okay? Nothing beats starting off with warm marketing. That meaning your friends and family, there's coworkers involved, friends of friends, colleagues, ex-coworkers, the list goes on and on, right? Just think about it that way. Maybe you go to a dentistry, and you're like, hey, I can ask them. I can go drop some of these drop-off cards, or I can reach out to them online and find ways to do it, right? That's more marketing, and that's what you should be focusing on from the very beginning. Local marketing, go ahead and go from place to place. You can also do this digital. I show you all of this in this document. Of course, I can't cover every single one of them. So we have local lead generation, which is similar, not really exactly like warm marketing, but you're showing up in person, putting the word out there. Maybe you're dropping off these cards, your information. Maybe you can gather emails from there and then take it back and put it in your email autoresponder. You can also use simple Gmail, but to automate the process, right, to communicate and follow up more effectively, I recommend doing things with email automation. And that's all in here. It's all in the document. You get the scripts, the templates, everything you need for it. I'll walk you through it all step by step. I have courses within courses in this. It's crazy. So you really, there is no excuse. The only excuse you're going to have is for being lazy. You can't say you didn't have anything here, and you can't say you didn't see it, because it's all in there. So there's even things like newspaper advertising. If you're more old school, go that route too. Google cold emailing. Right, this is one I did for a while, and it works. Just depends on what time you have and how to use your time and energy efficiently. And I go over that in here and I show you the processes. So now let me kind of just skip through some of these because I obviously can't go through all of them in this document. This change from time to time, as you've likely already seen. Now I just want to go down here to, let's see, I said I was going to show you some of the blogging. Currently it is way number 6. So one of my personal favorites is blogging. This is what I do. This is how I began my whole journey. I started affiliate marketing through the blogging with health and wellness, started talking about back pain topics and promoting physical digital products. And then I just grew out from there and I started doing a little bit of more social. Then I got into the whole idea of the video thing, even though it's not my favorite. But because I've learned the skills and I've done this consistently, it's better off, now. So if you feel that way, if you feel like, hey, I don't know if I can create value, add people, give people content, I'm not an expert in this. You just have to be one chapter ahead. The whole concept of knowing the next chapter before maybe your competitor or even the person you're trying to help does, right? Just being one chapter ahead. And you don't have to be good at the whole creating content. I never came from the blogging world. As a Hispanic, and I do speak both languages, English and Spanish, more so. A lot of the time I do speak more English, fluent in Spanish. But, the whole blogging thing was nothing. Like, still to this day, I find it mind-boggling that I even do it. But because it's become so much more natural to me, second nature. I wake up every morning and this is what I do. I try to get out the words on maybe a document. If I'm on Google Docs, I'll be blogging there. And I do that. I make sure I get that done with before I do really like anything else. And so I focus a lot of my time and energy on that. So you're going to find your focus in it. Don't worry on it and you'll get better at it. You'll learn the skills to do it. It'll become more natural to you, even when it doesn't feel like it. But because you have the skills and to be where you want to get up to where you want to get to, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable positions. You can't live being comfortable. You can if you don't want to, push yourself and be something different. If you don't want to be self-employed, if you don't want to work for yourself, you have to want to push yourself. You can't just stick in this little bubble. And that's how I was for the longest time. And I'm not just saying that. Okay. I'm being very real with you. I'm the oldest of 2. Got a younger brother of mine, younger brother. He's 23 currently. I'm 28 now. 28, I said. I don't know if you heard of that. But so SEO is one thing you can do through blogging. People find your blog post on Google, like I said earlier. And I have a whole different course. I have a course for that in here. You can also see my recommendations, extra resources on how to get a website going, a domain. That is all in there step for step. So you don't have to make the mistake of wasting days, weeks, months, maybe even years trying to figure this out on your own, step for step, what to do next. How do you advance forward without wasting your time? So website forwarding, I talk about that. Wanted to add that in there. Talked about it a little bit earlier, how to redirect people when somebody clicks on your domain and they get taken over to like the AC sites or whatever program you're with. You can do that. Just up here a little bit too, or you can also do it through here. I show you paid ways. There's also free subdomain places you can go get a website just so you can get the hang of it if it's kind of new to you, and my best recommendations. So we have Google Ads as well. I've done this for a long time. I'm Google Ads certified. One of my favorite things to do, not only for business loan brokering, but for many other types of products and stuff like that. But I won't go into it too in depth. So we're going to skip down here to number 10. Email marketing. I can't overemphasize this. Grow an email list. So you don't have to be like, well, I have the person's contact number. DAC gave it to me, or whatever partner program you're with. I can just give them a call tomorrow and see how they're doing. Great. That's good. You want to do that. It's helpful. You don't always have to. There are times where you'll feel like you're not that person who wants to call someone, but then you're like, well, it's been a couple of days. I think now is the right time to call. I sent them an email, sent them a text. Maybe they didn't respond, maybe they did, but I just want to make sure, and I'm going to give them a phone call this afternoon or right away in the morning. Boom. Make sure that they filled out their application, they put their documents in, and see what part of the process they're in. And another thing that this does too, if you ask the right questions, even the people that you do not fund, this is a pro tip, even those that do not get funding, you still can ask them like, well, it's private information. Be like, hey, what happened? Like, why didn't you get approved? And you don't have to be, full on with me and tell me the exact details, but what like part of the process was it without giving away your personal information? You don't want that. And so they go, okay, this is what happened, boom, boom. And so now you get an idea and go, with this, with this trucking company, they failed to go through with they got their documents in, but their application wasn't approved because they had one negative bank statement, or they had two, or something else happened, part of their business that didn't allow them to do this. And so then you get a better sense, and you're like, well, if I continue working in this market, then now I know the problems that they face. And even if they get funded, you can ask the same thing. Okay, it's very helpful to know. And then it also, if you wanted to pivot, in case you were like, maybe that's not for me, or it won't work because of that reason, or it's just going to be so much more difficult, then you can pivot or offer a different service. But you don't always have to start off with the revenue-based merchant cash, whatever type of loan it is. You can start off with equipment financing, customer financing, and go in that direction, which is something that I actually recommend you do. And that'll actually get you to push yourself a little bit more and say, okay, why do they need it? And it gets you to dig in a little bit more. Email marketing, very important. I talked about this earlier with this overview I showed you. Again, traffic to an opt-in page, to a download/survey. You can take them then wherever else thereafter, but you're following up with them through email marketing. Right? Google to blog, to some opt-in, YouTube video, YouTube platform to YouTube video, to maybe an opt-in form. It can be anything else, right? It can be a little bit of a phone call, or it can be get on a consult with me, or how to go over this. But this is what you can do. And I have examples of this in here, different types of things you can use. For cold emailing, my recommendations. For warm to hot email marketing, my type of automation that I'm using and what I use day to day and how I've been able to do this. So this shows you very well. You can do this for free. They have a free account. I'm using Aweber at the moment. Should still be free by the time you're watching this. If not, it's still worth getting into. So I just talk about ways to get people into your email list, blogging to the freebie, YouTube video to a freebie, Facebook to a freebie. And the freebie, I replaced that with the words lead magnet, which you're going to hear from time to time, lead magnet. It's a freebie, lead magnet. Instagram, TikTok, etc. The list goes on and on. So I give you the free email templates here. We're going to click this just to give you a little look. And these are proven to work. I didn't just create them out of my butt. I actually tested these and I know they have been proven to work. So here are the subject headlines, and then you get the body. I give you it all, the subject headline, the body, all the different types of emails, and this could get updated too. So it's all in there, the different email subject headlines. This is all within the document. And then here is another thing that I added, like a subject headline for an appointment. If you schedule an appointment with people, here is the body for it. Click here, and then I have in parentheses in blue, send to the chatbot. And that's what I use. I use certain chatbots for this, and I'm going to give you the scripts for it. Extra tips, how to format your emails, using stealth secrets to increase your click-through rates, using chatbots to 10x your results. I give you the different scripts to use, different alternatives, the footers, how to increase your conversions, personalization, testing, copy my chatbot sequences. They're very different for each if you're on a free or a paid program. Promoting multiple services and offers. This is very important. I don't want you to get hung up on, I can't get a fund. And I know how frustrating I know how bad it can be. Like when I first got into it, and, with my background in all the digital marketing and being omnipresent and distributing content amongst different platforms, I was getting those, started applications. You're going to see that started application, but I ended up also getting those denied. God, the list went on and on. It was frustrating. It was overwhelming because I was like in the beginning, this can happen. But then as time went by, I'm like, what's going on? And so what really I needed to do was get more targeted on who I was going after, what their actual needs were. So once I figured out, okay, I knew what they actually needed, I know that they were going to be able to get recommended this, then that's when I was able to pivot and understand, okay, now I was getting more of those approvals and stuff like that. So promoting multiple service comes in when you are like, people are not qualified for DAC or another specific type of program. So the pro thing here to do is sign up for other affiliate partners, sign up for more merchant cash advances, other types of small business loans, and see if they have an affiliate program and promote them. If they don't, it could also be a benefit when you're educating your audience. But the thing here is there are different requirements for different people. If you're getting all hung up on just the revenue-based funding or a merchant cash advance and it's not working, sign up with different programs, offer different services. So you have multiple things for different people. If you have a broader audience, right? That's what you have. So don't just be like, if you need my services, you know where to find me. If you need my services, here's my contact info. And those people never, I mean, they may remember you, but they'll end up forgetting, or they can remember. It's just, why would you want to leave it to that? You wouldn't want to do that. Instead, let's say you have an email sequence going, then you can send them different offers depending on their needs. So I go over that in this document. Now, here's more on the how to promote. We have LinkedIn marketing. I go over Facebook groups and how to do all that. I mean, LinkedIn groups, and I cover all that in that portion. Let's go back here. I know I have another email section, but we also have Facebook marketing. I show you step for step, what's working, what isn't. The Facebook groups, personalizing your profile, making your own group, posting on your business page, creating one, and so forth. There's a lot more. And then I show you like right here, here's a document of Facebook posts and types. But everything that I'm showing you, I want you to keep on the back of your mind. You have to be consistent at it. Be consistent at this every day. Don't just say I did it for one and then you don't come back to it and you're like, well, it's not working for me. I'm going to go pivot into a different business. What you have here is unlike anything else. Like, I'm being very dead serious like this. And I've been in digital marketing for a while. Once I saw all this, I was like, no way, for free. And even if it weren't for free, like the whole industry, it's lucrative. You just got to make sure you do this right. So all the templates are in here. And again, this will be more or less updated from time to time. But different posts you can use for not only Facebook, you can also transfer those to other places and format it for that platform. And I say here, PS, let's put that in bold. Do not go into Facebook groups spamming your links, spooing them. I've seen that a lot, especially from David Allen Capital agents. Maybe they weren't trained properly or they just ignored it. Don't be that person. I actually show you an example here, right? Who needs business funding? It doesn't sound bad from the beginning, and it really isn't. Somebody's posting that on a Facebook group. But I talk about how that can be very generic, and it can actually work against you and be too broad. If your goal is to, okay, I'm going to talk to a broad range, okay, that may work. But if you want to get more targeted, there are different messages you can put in front of people. So keep that on the back of your mind. And I cover that in even more detail when I'm talking about just right now. There. And I just said, okay, this is what happens when you post in a Facebook group. Okay, this person got reached out and somebody commented on their post, and of course the creator of it says, okay, here's a website where you can go and apply, message me if you have any questions. It just sends them a link, and that link isn't even trustworthy. It's not even one of the DAC links, so it looks like somebody just like replicated it on their own domain. Maybe they're an old DAC member where they were getting that, but it just doesn't look trustworthy, especially when I went there. I'm like, nope. And the way that they did this wasn't right, because you just don't say, hey, here's the website, go and apply. Like, you don't even know the problems. So there's this formula that you should know about. It's called the PQR squared. So problems, questions, roadblocks, and results. What are the problems that they have? And I spoke about this in the beginning, if you were paying attention. What problems does my prospect have? We're talking about cold, warm, hot markets. Each one have different problems. Questions, what are they going to be questioning? And I go through that before I even talk to people. I go, okay, this person has this problem, this problem, this problem. This is what's going to happen. Roadblocks, what's stopping them from crossing that bridge to get to the results? What are they facing right now currently that they can't get past? The results, what are they? They're on this side, but how do I get them there? So I reverse engineer the process. What are the results? They need equipment financing. What is the roadblock stopping them from getting there? Well, I don't have funding for my business. I need more just so I can get that new truck. So what do? The questions then are, okay, so how can I get more funding so I can do equipment financing? Now, the problem is they don't have any kind of fund. So we're going to get them through revenue-based funding, merchant cash advance, so then they can get to equipment financing. We've got to focus on these types of ways. And so here, inbox me. And the problem this creates too, there's so many, but another one is when you put your link out like that, it just doesn't create the trust. It doesn't create any kind of rapport with people. It's not, you're not understanding their needs really. And with this type of post, and also you are showing your link to people. So people won't even end up commenting even more unless they don't even bother to look through the comments and see, okay, this person put a link there. I can just click the link. Why do I have to go comments help me? Like, you don't have to do that. If you were this enough, you got to be smart enough to do it. I'm not saying you aren't. So what I'm saying is the people who are like just trying to be lazy about everything and don't take the time to be mindful about the process of things and just want the quick thing. Got to go through it step by step. So there's another comment from a spammer. Won't even get into that. It's just ridiculous. And then I just show you more examples of what not to do here. But the strategy here for Facebook, searching for local businesses through the search bar. I won't go in specifics on that. But step 2 here, scroll over the Pages tab, the navigation, and click it. And then select any, if I'm doing optometrists here, select them in your area or wherever it is you're looking for. And then you can message and or call them. And I have a script here for you to send them, and you can do that over and over. I think you're limited. I think it was like about 20 or so. They'll stop you from doing that, but it's still well worth it. Going in there, and I get responses, so it's working. And you can also capitalize it with LinkedIn and other ways. Again, it's about being omnipresent and not just focusing on one person. You want to focus in on multiple. You want to continue to move this needle. So you're just not hung up on not getting, if you don't get funded by one person, you're not like, I just spent all my time and energy on them. Now I have to go and look for more. Okay, alternative endings, and I talked to you about the do's and don'ts. And when they respond, how you should respond back, scripts. Okay. Other quick Facebook strategies through ads, if you want to do that. Craigslist, a very popular option. You can run $5 ads to the finance industry and then get people through there. But I won't go into the specifics of that. That's all covered in here, every little detail you need. We're going to continue moving. And we're going to be over here in just a second. TikTok, I got on there. I blew up on TikTok. I have had good successes with it. It's not my favorite. I'm not a video person, but again, I thought, okay, why don't I try to distribute content from YouTube to this platform? And then over time, I said, I'll just start creating little 1-minute videos, 3 minutes, even 15 seconds. And I thought, I'll just go with it. And I'm seeing traction. So when I was seeing the traction, it was inspiring me to be like, okay, I got to push more content out there. So that's what ended up happening. When I started to see that progress moving me forward, and not only with more views, followers, but it was turning into leads, sales, applications, and all this. And I was like, okay, boom, kept putting out content and I focused on it. So that's another avenue. And Instagram, I have other strategies in there. Surveys, give you done for you surveys. There's a video of all that. Kickstarter crowdfunding and what that's all about. And just so much more, buying leads, why you shouldn't, and how it can benefit. I'm not really big on that, and I don't recommend you do that, especially as a beginner. More Pinterest, Clubhouse, Twitter, and again, this is being always updated, and I have more to add to it. But for the most part, it's all there. What happens when I talk on camera for an extended amount of time? combine strategies like this. So I recommend you combine strategies all together. Don't just, or multiple ones, a couple of them. Don't just get stuck up on one. Yeah, you can focus on 100%. Get good at it. That's what I recommend you do, but also have something on the back end. So if you have Google blogging, combine that with like a Facebook. And you can also add an ad onto it. You don't have to run ads. Not always the most effective thing. You can just start off for free. You can get a lot of traction doing that. Tips and extra tools. That's all covered in here. Canva, ClickMagick, other tools, and how to get a Gmail domain and professional one, and 10xing your income with your own duplicated system and how to go from there and the benefits of all of it. Be consistent and persistent. Just relaying the message over to you again. Different places to follow, like David Rutz, the whole program, myself included, and many more resources. Again, this is always being added to. So that is everything from me in this video. I know we spent a good chunk of time in this. Hopefully you got a lot of value from this. You understand now from a bird's eye view. I wanted to show you that here. And then we went into how to promote David Allen Capital with some of the strategies and tactics. Went through some of the steps, not all of them. Can only cover so much. And just kind of ending it on that note where you need to focus. Get in on this. You have a lucrative opportunity here to earn high-ticket commissions from servicing small businesses. There's no greater feeling than to help small businesses grow. That's one of my favorite things. Out of all the business models, affiliate marketing, digital agency, course creation, whatever it is, there's no better feeling than helping a small business grow. And that's what I keep coming back to. And this right here is the future, has been the future. And if you're looking for a way to supplement your income, doing this as a side hustle, part-time, full-time income, this is what I highly recommend you do and go at it. Okay, look at those strategies. If there is a section underneath this video where you can get that document again, check through how to promote them. I'll try to leave that there. If not, it'll be somewhere else. Look through your emails, through your text message, or some other form that I've given it to you, and really take the time to go through these step by step, because a lot of people actually are, and I know I didn't say that in the beginning, that there are a lot of people who are going through this and finding successes. And those are the people who are being consistent, they're hungry, they're being persistent at it. They've actually reached out to me on a daily basis, not daily, from time to time. They're like, hey, Michael, just updating you that I'm doing this now. And if they have a question about something, yeah, I'll go ahead and help you with it. And I'll be like, hey, this is the way to do this. Make sure you go back on to step 2 and you follow that thoroughly. And once you're done with that part of the process, come back to me, or I'll want to see it after that. And then we can go from there on out. All right, so you are with a great team. I'm here to help you grow, whether that is with DAC or anywhere else. With DAC for free as the time that I'm making this. And the thing is, when you join something for free, you don't always value it that well. I know that, because when you put money into something, you're going to put your skin in the game. When you see something for free, you think it's too good to be true, and you're just going to put it off. Okay? And so take the time, go through this. You're not getting charged to see this, which is ridiculous. I'm giving you everything you can get. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a course and then get the extra material, and you go run ads, and that's extra cost, and you got to run a website, and blah, blah, blah. Okay? That is everything from me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me. There's a section underneath here. If you're watching this on YouTube, look there, look in the description for this template. If not, I've likely reached out to you. And if you have not signed up as an affiliate of them, I'll leave a link to that down below and just more information for you to understand. Okay, thank you.